Okay, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. I was in a live stream with Nostradamus, who's this artist. That was pretty cool. Chat just came out Tuesday. I didn't see this coming, but sure enough, it did. Now, we're gonna do One Piece later. Figured I'd do this first, because the One Piece chapter was like... how they started off. But this is gonna be Bleach. I point to that person because... Now, I guess a few people had mixed reactions about this chapter. I personally like this chapter. I give it a 4 out of 5. No fucks given. No fucks given, because I thought this was done very nicely. Because we get introduced to a character who we haven't seen in like God knows how long. And we find out what they were doing. Not only that, and in this chapter also, another person shows up that sets up to be, in my opinion, a very interesting fight. So let's get into this. This was Bleach 589. The Shooting Star Project, the Old and New Trust. And it's got Ichigo talking to Kisuke about how he was able to get Kugaku's, their shooting star thing to build it underneath the 12th Division, and saying that he was able to get permission from Mayuri to do it. And he's saying that it's not a perfect copy, but it's just as good, and he says that the cannon will probably collapse after I shoot it. After one shot anyway. And he's like, at this point, we don't even have enough energy to fire it. And we got that guy, whatever his name was, who was part of the 12th Division, talking to Kisuke, saying, mentioned as returned after completing her task. She has returned after completing her task. We don't know who that person is. We find out. And I say this. Thank you, Google. That in the sphere, we got Chad talking to Ichigo, and listen, I was dying. I was dying with laughter when I saw shit. So Chad's like telling him, I didn't want to bring this up. What do you think? And he's like, and I'm thinking, Chad's thinking, what do you think about Ishida betraying us? Like, what are you going to do? No. That's not what Chad's asking. He's like, what do you think about Orihime? In no ways, close. What? So, you look at Orihime, in a way, and she's blushing. Like she's saying, wait, Sadako, what are you talking about? Like, well, I think it's too revealing. Well, he says, this is what Ichigo says. He says he thinks it's too revealing. And is like, she's like freaking out. Saying like, oh no, Kurosaki-kun's gonna think I'm a hentai, I'm a pervert. By the way, she wasn't the one who said to wear that. It was Kisuke. So he's the hentai, not Orihime. It's like, you think the exhibition is something disgusting. Wrong, Kurosaki-kun. She's going on. I'm not wearing these because I'm a hentai. It's because Urano-san is a liar. It's like, because he told her that, Ichigo would be very happy if you wear these for him. Son of a bitch. And then he's like, please do be careful. They were designed so that if they were ever covered the middle, they will fall over from the insides. And then, out of nowhere, this hand appears in between her boobs. And I'm like, what's that? And then this person saying, quit your pouting. Boom! Whoa. Holy shit. Yoruchi? Like, where the fuck did she come from? Surprisingly enough, she shows up. And this is the reason I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. We get Yoruchi back. Not only that, we find out why she was gone. What she was doing this entire time. Case in point. And pretty much Yoruchi, and she was like saying, that's all nonsense about her revealing too much, you fool. You think a maiden would really doing something like that, and so on and so forth. And then Yoruchi's like, it's okay, Yoruchi-san. And Yoruchi's basically saying, can't you just say something flattering or flirty to her, you oblivious brat? And then Kisuke's in the back saying, you see my expectations. It really was worth the time and effort to put into designing it. And welcome back, Yoruchi-san. The goods. And she's standing there holding this cape with these bottles in it. Now, what confused me the hell out of this chapter was Yoruchi. Was she like... I don't think she was naked. I think it was just because of the shading Kubo did here that it looked that way. But she obviously isn't naked. She's wearing something. So, and basically what we get the explanation is that Yoruchi-san was sent to the world of the living, to the distortion that the Quincy's caused between the boundary between our present world and the Soul Society. And saying that, according to Yoruchi-san's intel, an enormous amount of energy is released at the moment a distortion is created, and that moment it disappears. Enough to connect two worlds. That's how gigantic the transfer of energy is. So she went there to discover the disturbance. Remember that? All the way back? Way. When we had that one chapter with Hiyori and Lisa and Hachi. And I think it's Lisa or Hiyori, they noticed something like this distortion and shit, and that's why Yoruichi went to the world of living. So I'm like, okay, good shit. So Kisuke explains that, and basically, accordance with, she met up with Hiyori and the others, and as a precaution for a situation like this, they collected that very energy. And I had just assumed that someone had already built the launching pad. Well, then shall we begin? Let us complete the arrangements for the vacation of a lifetime to the Soul King's palace. So, and then we get the title page. So, that's what Yoruichi was doing. And I'm like, oh, cool. All right, cool. Well, you explained that. I'll give you that. Yeah. The rest of the chapter, we get pretty much it's Igaku and Yomichika, and they're talking about the explosions and he's saying to Igaku, they're not really explosions, they're not really bombs, they're bullets, and saying that those bullets, whatever it touches, becomes the actual bomb. Whatever it touches, that into thing becomes a bomb. So they're basically fighting Bambietta. And then Igaku's basically stating that he's going to slice her up while dodging. That's the only way. He does Dance of the Earth, Yumichika, Hado, 57. He basically throws debris at the bombs, and it just blows up on its own. Igaku hits her in the head with his spear, but almost gets blown up. She loses her arm, Bambietta, but they realize that it's a zombie. And the Jiz, that's her new name. Her new name is Jizzele. Says so's Edward Armstrong. And to Edward Armstrong if you're looking at this video and you're looking at the comment section, give me a thumbs up. Because I mentioned you. So, pretty much, Jizzele's there saying no matter what you do, she can't die. She's already dead. She's a zombie, blah, 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 blah. And saying it was a pain in the ass to turn Bambi-chan into a zombie, dealing with Quincy, they have to die once or try. They have to die once. They have to die once or it won't work. Has to deliver the finishing blow yourself. Bambi-chan's expression at that moment, I got so moist. And then Yuichika's like, I think you meant to say erection. I liked, but this chapter they give you a little more detail. Because it's like a side note saying, uses Boku, which I think having to do with the translation, confirming that he is a guy. And then, she's basically stating that, on the other hand, it's much simpler with a Shinigami saying you don't have to die. Simply splashing on blood on you is all it takes to make you into a zombie. And just as she's about to do that, we got another surprise. This almost felt like a Kisuke Mayuri chapter. Because at the end of this chapter, who shows up? Kurosuchi. With his, like... I like that design for Kurosuchi. I really do. I think Kubo did a great job with that. With, like, the sun thing. And he basically says, how interesting, I see, turning your opponent into zombies. You have definitely piqued my interest. And then she's like, it's so bright, so I can't see you clearly. And who might you be? And that's how the chapter ends. So, 4 out of 5. Pretty simple. It's pretty simple why I'm giving this a high rating. We found out Yoruchi showed up again. And we found out what she was doing this entire time. I really thought that was great. And the comedy side was okay, but that wasn't really the main point. You got development when it concerned answering some questions. What was Yoruchi doing this entire time? Where has Yoruchi been? We got that explanation from Kisuke. So, yeah, that's good shit. I don't know if Yoruchi is going to go with them. She might, but I'm not sure. But we get that explanation. And, this, got Kurosuchi now coming into play. And I could only imagine what the fuck he's going to do to Jizzele. Oh, by the way, to Jizzele, do me a favor. Why don't you take off the skin you have around your body? Because that's not what you really look like. You are a skank. You are a tramp, and you're probably a transvestite. So just take the skin off and look like a man, because that's what you clearly are, a man. Oh, by the way, I hope Kurosuchi does. He just fucking killed him, like in the most brutal of ways. But, yeah, pretty good chapter. I thought it was good as far as moving things around, moving it along. And I like the fact that Kubo, at least as far as progression is concerned, explained. Yoruichi shows up, and we now know where she was all this time. I like that. It's a whole lot better than the One Piece chapter where I thought, and I'm going to get into that. Trust me, I am. Where we said, we're going to see the Law flashback. No. I'm going to see fucking Bellamy? I'll get into it later on. But this was a good chapter, 4 out of 5. Some comedy, some Yoruichi, got explanation there, where she's been. And we got now Kurosuchi. I really want to see what Kurosuchi's going to do to fucking Jizzele. How dare you. Kill that bitch. Well, she's not a bitch. She's a man. Go figure that out. I'm on Bankai Night 22. I'll catch you guys later.